Hi, my name is Dr. Ray Tahiri, and this is our first Solidworks tutorial. I have arranged several SolidWorks tutorials for those who want to learn SolidWorks in general, and in particular my AppSci 170 Engineering Fundamental students at UBC Okanagan. This first tutorial covers some of the basic features using SolidWorks. When you start the menu here, so let me just close this here and close here. So you have a menu like this. First thing you do, you go here and file, new, and you have three options here. Either you are drawing a part, or you do a drawing of a part, or you want to assemble several parts that has already been generated in SolidWorks. In this particular case, I use the part drawing, and this is the menu I get. Sometimes students having problem to rearranging this by mistake. They click on here and bring it somewhere like here, and then end up having a different kind of setup here. In order to change the command, so command manager, you can click on anywhere here in this part and hold the left click. As soon as you bring it down, it gives you three choices. Either it can be on top, or it can be on left, or it can be on right. And if I let it go now, it's going to be on the right side. If I want to change it, obviously I'll bring it back to this position. The next is these menus here. So it's called property menus, and I have three choices as a default. They're features, sketch, and evaluate. You can add more by right clicking on it, and you can add, for example, sheet metal, you can add weldment, you can add surface, and so on. And if you don't want, just go back here and you just remove them one by one. Next thing you have to deal with is these sets of menus here. Let me just do a simple drawing. In this case, I make a simple rectangle shape here, and I just give you an idea, 120. So I just made a rectangle, and this is my dimension here. One thing you should do before even learning this is using this option. So it's a very important feature here. So when you click the button, three options comes, and one of them, first one is options itself, and we have customize and adds in. So add-ins, you should do it later on. We talk about it in next few tutorials. But this option, when you click that, it gives you two choices. Either you do the system options, or you do document properties. So you go to document properties. Very first thing you should do is you define your unit. What unit you're using. Is it SI? Is it foot pound? You can also customize a unit as you wish. I usually use the SI, millimeter, gram, and second unit. Click on here. Now I'm in that unit, so we can go back again here. The next is image quality. So we click on image quality, and what it does actually is when you want to draw something, so of course what SolidWorks does is when you draw it, depends on what is the resolution of your system, or the defined resolution in SolidWorks, or in other words, what is the deviation. The shape can be different. Assuming I'm drawing a circle, if I have a very low resolution, very high deviation, my circle actually could be something like this. So let me just try that here. We'll go back here, make a circle, simple circle, and if I want to change the resolution here and make it much less, image quality, and I go far here and I go OK. So when you open it, you can see that here. So it's not as crisp. as when you increase the resolution here. So let me just finish that. So if I want to change the resolution, I go here, and again depends on the size of it. If it's very small, it would be completely pronounced. So I go here to properties, and I go to image quality, and usually I put it in middle. And as you can see, it's something about 0.25. That should be sufficient enough, and it is okay. And you can see now it's much more look much better, and then it has a much higher resolution. It's not the broken lines connected to each other. There are other features here. You can go to dimension, and the dimension you have a general option here. You can change the font, for example, make it less or more. So you go to the units, or you go to points. Let's make it, for example, 22 here. You can change the font, you can change the style, you can change the effect. And also for each of them, you can have, for each of the features you can plot, you can have its own sets of rules. For example, for linear, if I want to make a line, or I want to measure a line, or length of a linear length, so I could have any of these three options. So I can have my writing on top, or I can have the writing here, or I can have it like this. It all depends on how you want it. Usually the setup already is the first one, which means the written is on the top of the line. Now let's just delete this sketch here. I will do a simple sketch. Just make another rectangular shape here, and I make a circle in here, and then I want to do an extrude, something like this. And then I want to make a sketch here, make another extrude here, go to feature, extrude cut, and I do it all the way through. And maybe I want to make on the top here, so we go and make it normal to it, and you make a sketch here. Change the position here, something like this. And I do another extrude cut. I do all the way, all through. So this is the shape actually I end up having. So the reason I made that, I want to show you another feature here. So now, when you see a shape like this, let's just go through a few of these options here. First of all, it's called apply scene. So it depends on, there are several options here. You can have, for example, warm kitchen. It looks like this. Just change the background. You can have light cards. Looks like this. I usually use the best one. To me, I will use detergent with point faded ones here. It's called the 3-point faded. There's another one, it's called stereo, and that's actually, it's not bad as well. Okay. Now let's just go to next one, which is actual editing the appearance. So there's a difference between editing the appearance and also assigning a material. We'll talk about it later, but this is only a cosmetic effect, so you won't see how it looks. And you click on here, and you have a variety of choices here. You can make it, for example, metal, and let's go down here. We have tungsten. This is very popular, metal, and choose any of them. If you use this one here, and you can use OK, so it looks like a tungsten. This is as material is concerned. Now here this option gives you can have this, which is the actual solid plus all the lines are pronounced. You can remove the lines. You can have a wireframe. You can have a wireframe with all the hidden lines. As you can see that it's a complex shape here. And the final one, it shows you all the lines, but it's not like hidden or not dash as is here. Excuse me. Now there is another option here, which is called the view of an orientation, and depends on what view you want to look. You want to have front, top view, bottom view, side view, left or right. So that's another option here. So you just go to the whole, and let me just finish this one here and make it solid. And now there is another feature which is very handy. It is this particular sectioning view, and what you do is that you click on it, and simply it sections it for you. So start from far end, and as I left click and drag this, it does it for it draw the whole thing for me with a different sectioning. And if I want to stop here, right there, this is my sectioning here, and I can continue the different sectioning from here. So I could be at this position, and what I have on the left hand side, it tells me all these planes that I can intersect, so this or front or top or right. Also I can give an angle here. For example, I can tilt this in two directions here, okay? And as a matter of fact, I can add a second section plane, which is here, and I can tilt that section as well. And here I can add the final third one, and I can angle that one as well. So if you realize it's a very handy features here, and you can see that this is the remaining of what I sectioned. Sometimes it's very handy when you have a complex shape and you want to see how it's sectioned with one plane, and you can define the plane. And just double click on here, click on here, and you brings the previous menu. And this is actually goes to previous all the menus here. You can check with this guy here how many menus you can get. And the other two, one is called is the zooming area. You define an area here, like for example this area, and it zooms it for me. If you're using a ball mouse or roller mouse, you can just roll ins and outs. And sometimes you're missing somewhere that you cannot see it, just click on this one and it actually brings it to the center. If you again have a roller mouse, by holding the roller you can change it. If you do the right click hold, you can have any of these four, and by the way you can change that in a setting. You can make it 8, or you can have a different angle as well. So this is as far as some basics in SolidWorks concern. Before I start, I tells one more important thing, and that is when you draw something in SolidWorks. So I didn't talk, by the way, about this skepticals here, eyeglasses. So you have features you can turn on and off. Like for example, you can have the light on and off. You can have the planes, and you can have the center, the origin. You can have the lines. So for example, if I'm pressing here, so these are the view of the temporary axes. And in this particular case, obviously I have two axes here because these are two circles. Now you can do a drawing in SolidWorks in two ways. So either you will have a 2D sketch or a sketch, or you have a 3D sketch. Mostly we use 2D sketch, and when I say 2D sketch, it doesn't mean that you cannot use 3D, but the basic is a 2D, and then you can extend it to a geometry. So I would like to stop here and continue with our next tutorial.